back on the Morning Brew with Friends, and I'm with one of my old friends here. This is Russell Combs. You're the managing director of Wesst, and if you haven't been to Russell's office, he's got the coolest thing. You've got this giant chess set, and this is part of your thing, right?
Absolutely.
It's kind of a hobby and a little bit of philosophy, I think, for you to have a big chess set in your office.
It is. I learned years ago that if you are in business and you are not thinking a few moves ahead, and as they say in chess, at least 6 moves ahead,
right,
you're going to miss something. And so if you stay alert, stay thinking, don't get in that easy situation,
right,
and so on, and always anticipate, unfortunately, always anticipate something's going to go wrong.
Right. Always look at the worst case scenario.
And be ready and equipped to handle it.
That's cool. So, and this is what you help people do every day, is
absolutely
learn how to equip themselves and learn how to handle it. At Wesst, which is it used to be called the Women's Economic Self-Sufficiency Team.
Correct.
Is that the full
acronym?
It's been a minute.
Excellent.
But it's kind of it's grown and really developed as a lot more than what it was when it was started, right?
It is. When it first started, of course, it focused on the women entrepreneurs, and we still do, by all means.
Right.
And in fact, I think 64, 67% of our clients are women-owned businesses. But the way that Wesst works and how intensely we get in and work with the entrepreneur, it's good for us guys too.
Right.
And so probably 15 years ago, they opened it up much more, and now there is no barrier to coming to us and us helping you get your business up and running.
So we hear a lot about the incubator space. And what is that? What does a business incubator do? And how do you guys kind of fit in? Because there's several others in town too.
Absolutely. And this is exciting. This is an exciting time for Albuquerque, and we've got the accelerators, we've got us as an incubator, and so on. And the incubator is a very intense methodology of assisting an entrepreneur to accelerate the growth of their company on a very systematic and foundational method. And that's a lot of words.
What does that mean? Yeah,
exactly.
That's a lot to take in, especially at 7 in the morning.
Absolutely. It just simply means that when you come into an incubator, number one is what's called the intake process. And the intake process just basically means we're going to help you evaluate should you dive into this business or not.
So hypothetically, I have a business idea and I want to launch this thing. I would go to you guys first, and you guys could help me look at the market, look at who might buy it, decide if I can even get money for it, financing for it, all of the above.
Absolutely. And the object is not in any way, shape, manner, or form to discourage you from going into business or to cherry pick the greatest ones or whatever. It's the aspect of we want you to make good decisions from good information. So if instead of watching an infomercial at 2 o'clock in the morning that says, and you too can be a millionaire in 35 days or less, we walk you through the reality checks of what it's going to take, the dedication it's going to take, the intense hours it's going to take, the involvement of your entire family, all of the pieces. And many, many times folks will say, oh my gosh, I'm starting the 300th pizzeria in a community of 50,000 people.
That's not going to
The
play.
odds really aren't good for me.
You may love pizza, but...
Exactly. So it's a lot of self-selection from folks that will say, you know, I want to be an entrepreneur. This one wasn't the idea I needed. Or it could even be a technology that once we looked into it and we really help you investigate, is it a technology that will, number one, seek a market and materialize a market, and number two, should it be protected, or are there 50 other patents on the same concept or idea? It's the walkthrough to make sure that if you're going to dive into business, you're starting out knowing exactly what you're getting into. And then we take it into the next phase. Once admitted into the incubator, then it is a very intense business assistance with one of the most incredible entrepreneurial development teams in the world.
And you guys have something called a best practices incubator.
Yes.
And I don't know, like, who wouldn't want a best practices incubator? Like, are the other ones not best practices? What is that? What does that mean?
Dan, you caught me. No, actually, what we mean by that is the national organization has established a standard. Years ago, there were folks that would start an incubator, and it was more of a tenant facility, and we call it a tenant facility with shared services.
Right, there was, like, you would have one secretary that several businesses would share, one copy machine that several businesses
Absolutely.
could share. And that way, the expense of that wasn't borne by one business, but many.
By many, and those are excellent things. Don't get me wrong, that's not critical in any way, shape, manner, or form.
You guys can take that to the next level and provide business coaching and more, right?
Right, it's the program involvement that separates something that is a tenant facility with shared services and calls themselves an incubator, and a true business incubator with best practices. That includes our mentor teams, our one-on-one consulting and coaching, the consistency of evaluating financials, how are things happening in the market, helping that entrepreneur with a proactive methodology instead of a reactive. And that's what makes a best practice. And
some of those services are things like the new Comcast Digital Media Center, right? I went to the grand opening of that not too long ago. It's cool. It's a full studio, almost as awesome as ours here.
Yes.
Almost.
Oh, yes.
And
thanks, Dan.
but you guys, there's a photo of it right there.
Absolutely.
And you guys are able to do all kinds of great stuff in that studio. You guys can do commercials, you can do videos, you can do all kinds of things that all the tenants need. And that's just one of the things. There's business coaches, there's people like you who specialize in helping businesses get off the ground.
Yep.
And who are some of the clients that we'll know from Albuquerque from being kind of out in the wild? Who are some of the companies that graduated from Wesst?
They graduated from the incubator. Roof Care graduated. MPS, which is Medical Practice Solutions. Kosh IT Solutions. Nova.
NovaCorp?
NovaCorp.
Wow. Because they're the guys who started the giant incubator. I mean, a giant
data center.
Data center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lotus Leaf.
Oh, of course.
And
so all of these companies, some of them are tech companies, some of them are service companies. There's a little bit of everything there.
We're a mixed-use incubator.
So if you got an idea to start a business, reach out to Russell Combs and find out what's going on at Wesst, because chances are pretty good these guys can help you out, figure out how to get financing, figure out if your idea will fly, and figure out if you can become a millionaire in 35 days.
Or less.
Or less. On the Morning Brew with friends.